If you're trying to figure out what books to squeeze in before 2026 gets here, you are in the right place. I am a very seasonal reader, so basically the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I put up my Christmas decor, and then from that moment on, it is all about the Christmas holiday romance books, basically up until the new year. So today I'm going to share with you all of the holiday romance books that I want to get to before 2026 gets here, and all of the non-holiday books that I also want to try to squeeze in really quick before the new year approaches. And if you're building your own end of the year TBR, hopefully this will give you some ideas. So the first book on my end of the year TBR is actually the one I literally just started. It's called The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. So this is a hockey romance, and fun fact, this is actually my first ever hockey romance, and it is considered a dark romance. Hockey romance. I have a few different hockey romances. How many times can you say those two words together? Anyway, so I have a few of them on my shelves back here that I've had for quite some time, but I feel like recently I've just been hearing a lot about hockey romances online, so I'm like, okay, I need to see what all of the hype is about. Everyone's talking about it, so I decided to pick up this little baby right here. So no spoilers, and I'm not even that far into it, but here's the gist of it, of what I know is going on. So basically, our MMC is a hockey player. Duh. And he ends up texting the wrong number to our FMC. And basically they have like a few short text exchanges, if you want to call it, and basically she wants to prove to him that she's not who he thinks that she is. So she ends up sending a picture of herself to him, nothing like inappropriate or anything, but she ends up sending a picture over to him, and basically the minute that he sees it, he is just like obsessed with her. He thinks he's beautiful. He probably thinks he's beautiful too, but he thinks that she's beautiful and he just has to have her. There's definitely like all of the levels of obsession going on, like the I need to protect her, she's mine, no one touch. And we just love that type of energy in a dark romance. Our FMC in this book actually comes from a very dark past, a very rough childhood, and our MMC also has some sort of like tragic past, although I don't really know all of the details to that. We're just getting little sprinkles here and there, but I'm sure that's going to come about soon. But I'm very curious to see where this story does go. I will say it has started off a little bit slow, but if you do like hockey romances and you also like dark romances, this is one that you might want to check out. The next book on my end of the year TBR is Neon Gods by Katie Robert. Okay, so this has been on my TBR for so long, but basically I have not purchased it because every time I would go to Barnes & Noble, unfortunately I would see it and be like, ah, I want to have it, but they would always unfortunately have like damaged copies, so I never ended up purchasing it because I really like pristine books. I like it to be beautiful, especially because I collect them in my library. So finally, the other day though, I walked in and there it was in all of its glory. So I picked it up and I decided it was finally time to read this. I am so excited to read this. You'll have to let me know if you have read it, but I've definitely heard really good things. So if you're not familiar with this one, it is a modern Hades and Persephone retelling. It's set in this ultra-modern political city called Olympus. Persephone is basically society's golden girl, and I believe her mother ends up arranging an engagement to Zeus, who is very powerful, terrifying, and someone she definitely wants nothing to do with. So she ends up fleeing to the forbidden Undercity and ends up making a deal with Hades, who everyone believes is just a myth. So basically he's been living in the shadows his entire life and he has no like wants or whatever to step into the spotlight. Persephone ends up offering him something he has wanted for a long time: revenge. And from everything I have heard about this book, their chemistry is unreal. So if you are into mythology or retellings or dark romance, this might be one you want to add to your end of the year TBR as well. Okay, moving on to my Christmas stack. So the first book that I want to read this Christmas is A Very Merry Enemy by Lyra Parrish. So this is actually book 3 in her Very Merry series. I read the first 2 like a couple years ago and I really loved them, so I am so excited to read this one. This year just came out a couple weeks ago. So just a quick little summary about this one. So our FMC comes back to the small town of Maryville where she ends up running into Lucas Jolly, the cocky lumberjack who cannot stand her. They have a very messy history, so you already know the tension is high. And then his meddling mama signs them up for partners in the Christmas cookie contest, if I can say that correctly. So now they're stuck in 6 weeks of forced proximity with $5,000 on the line. So this is a small town, enemies to lovers, sweet and spicy. So if you've never picked up this series before, this might be a really fun one to add to your holiday TBR this year. The next book on my TBR is actually a tongue twister. It's very hard to say. So it's called The Little Swiss Ski Chalet Try saying that like 10 times fast. This book is by Julie Kaplan, and I actually read one of her Christmas books a few years ago. It's called The Christmas Castle in Scotland, and it quickly became one of my favorite Christmas books ever, and I have yet to read another book by her. So I am so excited to add this one to my TBR this year. I think it sounds so cute. So a quick little summary about this one. So the story follows Mina, who believes chocolate can solve everything. Hello, this is me. This is definitely my story. And after a relationship disaster goes viral, she ends up escaping to her godmother's Swiss ski chalet. Yeah. Romance is not on her agenda until she has a run-in on an alpine train with a mysterious and gorgeous stranger. I just think this one sounds like such a cute, just cozy romance. I cannot wait for my Christmas tree and decorations to be up, and I just want to sit and be all snuggled and cozy with my heated blanket and reading this one by the Christmas tree lights. I think it sounds so nice. So you might want to add this one to your TBR as well. Also, I should just add really quick that I'm really excited also to just see how this one stacks up to her other one, The Christmas Castle in Scotland, since I did say that's like one of my favorites. So I'll be curious to compare the two. I'll let you know. The next book on my TBR is Christmas Fling by Lindsay Kelk, and this one was such a happy surprise. I totally stumbled upon this one at Barnes & Noble. I'm strolling along in one of the aisles and bam, it caught my eye. And fun fact about me. Okay, so this is a Scottish Highlands romance, and I love Scotland, even though I've never been there. But I just know that I love it, okay? I love Outlander. Like, I just love, love, love Scotland, especially the Highlands. So when I saw this and the cover and the kilt and everything, I'm like, oh, bing, bing, ding, ding, ding. I almost said bingo, but yeah, whatever, ding, whatever. I want to read this one. I'm so excited. Here's the basic vibe of this one. Laura and Callum have met 3 times. Once at a wedding she doesn't remember, once at a baby shower that he doesn't remember, and once more when she accidentally walks into his flat and finds him stepping out of his shower fully naked. That one they both remember. So things end up getting pretty messy when Callum's parents end up assuming that Laura is his girlfriend, and she kind of panics and goes along with it. Next thing she knows, she ends up spending Christmas with his family in the Scottish Highlands. I love a fake dating turned maybe more situation, especially when it's set somewhere snowy and cozy, like the Scottish Highlands. The next book on my list is Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn. If you're not familiar with Megan Quinn, I genuinely consider her the queen of rom-coms. She literally writes the cutest, funniest romantic comedies. So last year she ended up releasing the first book in this series, and it's called How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It was hilarious, you guys. I'm telling you, it was so good. So instantly when I knew she was coming out with the second one in the series, I was like, I have to have it. It is an interconnected standalone series, but the one last year that came out and ended up quickly becoming one of my favorites. So in this one we follow Atlas Max Maxheimer, who is desperately trying to keep his family's Christmas tree farm afloat. And things go downhill fast when he literally gets knocked out by a rogue bottle of soda. Enter Betty. She's new in town, full of holiday cheer, and she's helping her uncle open a rival tree farm right next door. So instantly Max is convinced that she is out to ruin everything. So from there you can basically guess there's lots of classic holiday chaos going around. So this is definitely a rivals to lovers romance, and I'm so excited to read it this holiday. The next book on my TBR is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. I've actually never read a Hannah Grace book before, which fun fact, she is the author of Icebreaker, which is another hockey romance book. But this one looks so cute and very much my December vibe. So here's the quick rundown. So Claire works for her family's toy company, which has recently gotten into some trouble since it's been accused of stealing a design from a small business. She ends up being sent to the little town of Fraser Falls to fix the PR disaster. And the first person she runs into is Jack, the exact guy her company wronged. He wants nothing to do with her or the Davenports, but Claire is determined to turn things around. But of course, the more time they spend together, the chemistry starts to heat up. I think this just sounds like such a cute, slightly grumpy sunshine holiday romance, and I'm excited to try my first Hannah Grace book. Next book on my TBR is Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. So I decided to pick this one up because it is honestly like just really different than everything else that I am reading this season, and I am so curious. By the way, I also just think this cover is stunning. I think it's like so pretty. It really is what caught my eye. And we also just love a good sprayed edge. Okay, so here's the quick rundown. So our main character, Nolan, is literally the ghost of Christmas past. He's used to haunting people every holiday season, doing his job, and then disappearing back into his whole in-between ghost existence. But when he's assigned to Harriet, basically the sweetest person ever, he suddenly finds himself wanting more than just another haunting. Harriet, on the other hand, has no idea why she's being haunted. She's a people pleaser, she tries to do everything right, and as she and Nolan end up looking back at their past, she ends up realizing that they may be connected in ways neither of them expected. I think this book just sounds like so magical, kind of like slightly whimsical, and also slightly emotional Christmas story probably. I just love the idea of a ghost romance. I have never read anything like that. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. And to finish off this video, we're gonna go ahead and do a little lightning round of the books that I really want to read because I don't think I'm going to get to them. I would love to get to them, but I just don't think it's gonna happen, and these are actually books that were left over from last Christmas that I never got to, so this year I'm like, please, please, please let me have enough time to read them. So I'm gonna share them with you, but I'm not gonna go into depth or anything. Okay, so I've got them all stacked right here in front of me. So the first one is Eating Her Christmas Cookies by Alina Jacobs. I actually have read another Alina Jacobs book. It was a Halloween fall time book, and it was really cute. I really liked it. So I've never read one of her Christmas books, so I'm like, okay, I would love to get to this one this year. We shall see. The next one is, okay, this one's probably the one that I most want to get to out of this list that I'm sharing with you, and I know this is supposed to be lightning round and I'm not going very fast. But this one is Christmas in the Scottish Highlands by Donna Ashcroft. You can probably guess why I really want to get to this one. Lover of all things Scotland. Also, I just think this cover is so pretty. Like, it just looks so magical. It even says on the front cover, a heartwarming, feel-good Christmas romance to fall in love with. And I just know that I would, so I really want to get to this one this year. Okay, next up is Later On We'll Conspire by Courtney Keisel. Would love to get to this one. Next up on the list is a Newport Christmas, M-E-S-S. And this one is by Jess Heileman. I really hope to get to this one too. It just sounds really, really fun. Then we have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and this one is so short, so I feel like it would be so easy to get through. And I also have read a few other Tessa Bailey books, and they're always just really cute and fun. Also kind of like really good romantic comedies, so I feel like I have high hopes for this one. I think it'd be really cute. And last but not least is The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This one is also really small, so it would be another like very easy one to get through. All right, friends, so that is everything on my end of the year TBR. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. It truly means so much to me. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a like and please subscribe. I do upload weekly. Now I want to hear from you, so please let me know what is on your TBR for the rest of the year. I'm dying to know because maybe you'll also give me some ideas and I'll be like, great, let me add them to mine as well, even though mine is overflowing and I can't even see the end of my TBR anymore. But you'll have to let me know, did any of these books catch your eye? Are you adding anything from my list over to yours? Be sure and let me know down below. I love chatting with you guys, but thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.